This Friday on my Instagram account, we are giving away hundreds of dollars to loyal FERRO'S. To enter in for a chance to win $100 free money, all you have to do is follow FERRO Reacts, like every post you see from your boy, and comment the number 100, and we're going to randomly pick somebody on Friday. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. We don't take it for granted. Let's get into this video. All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO, how's everybody doing out there? I want to talk music about Meek Mill. Meek Mill just announced a new deal with Roc Nation, but I don't want to do it in this video because this video is entirely too important. This might be the biggest day of Meek Mill's life, not career, his life. Ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday, a Pennsylvania court has overturned Meek Mill's conviction in a drug and gun case that has kept the rapper on probation for over a decade and pretty much made him, every time he traveled anywhere, he'd have to check in as this big time rapper that's doing all these great things in the community, that's giving back so much money, doing all types of drives, right? Meek Mill has been a victim of technical violations of his probation over the last 10 years of his life. What do you mean by a technical violation, TALIAFERRO? It simply means what it says. Technically, he violated his probation, but it's petty. It's beyond petty. A couple years ago, Meek Mill got jammed up for riding a bike, a dirt bike or a motorcycle. We know he get busy with them bikes, with the chasers. He was in New York and he got caught popping a wheelie. And technically, when you're on probation, and this needs to be changed, you cannot have any interaction with the police. I'm not saying you got to get arrested. I'm not saying that you have to be charged or convicted of anything. No, you can't have any situation that lands you in any contact with the police. That law was made to scare people away from even being around people who commit crimes. But in a person's situation like Meek Mill, pretty much you're hurting his business. You in the rap community, you in the hip hop world, you're going to be around stuff. Doesn't mean you committed any crimes, but just going to nightclubs and venues, you're around police officers, you're around different people. He has money to be around different type of people in different spaces. Look, Meek Mill has violated probation time and time again with these technicalities. Earlier, Meek Mill was failing piss tests, right? That was a real thing. He admitted that he was addicted to perks, right? Like, Meek Mill over time, though, has changed. And what keeps happening after a couple years of probation, Meek Mill had one of these technical violations, and then he'd mess around and get another 3 years added or another 2 years added. And that's how we get 10 years, 11 years in on a crime that happened back in 2007. Does Meek Mill need to take some accountability? Hell yeah, he do. Hell yeah, he do. At the end of the day, you knew you had to stay scot-free, but could he make a living, do his career, which is rapping, right, and be all around the country and world performing? I'm not sure if he could do that with these little petty violations that they keep getting him on. Now, Meek Mill has had specific issues with a black judge by the name of Janice Brinkley, who has pretty much been on Meek's ass. Like, anytime something has happened, she's been right there to make sure Meek Mill serves as most time as he can. She doesn't seem to be a fan of Meek Mill. Meek Mill claims one time when he was actually dating Nicki Minaj at the time, behind chambers, this judge Janice Brinkley asked Meek Mill straight up and down, you know what, I think you should sign with a management group here in Philadelphia that I know personally, and leave Rick Ross and Jay-Z and these other high profile rappers and their management groups alone. Meek claims that behind scenes, she asked him to make him a Boys to Men type song. You know, the joint on Bended Knee, she asked him to make her a song dedicated to her in that type of form of fashion. These are Meek's claims. I don't know it to be true or not. It was behind chambers if it did happen. As of today, Judge Janice Brinkley has been thrown off of the case. Now, this is a rarity that this happens, but according to the Pennsylvania Superior Court, they say, we conclude that after discovering evidence is as such as strong nature and character that a different verdict will likely result in a retrial. Again, Meek, who's been on probation since he was 19, he's 32 now. Yeah, he's gonna get a new judge to look at this case, and as of right now, homie is not on, until this thing is finalized, homie is not on probation. Now let's get into another part of this that I thought was crazy, right? There's police corruption in Meek's case as well. So the reason why Meek was originally put on probation was because law enforcement officials claim when Meek was 19 years old, Meek pointed a gun at them when he was getting locked up for, I believe they were running away from a drug charge or something like that. And Meek pointed a gun at a law enforcement official. And Meek claimed, look, pretty much, you know, if I would have pointed a gun at a police officer, I'd be dead now. What black man you know getting second chance like that? If he points a gun at a police officer, he's dead. Meek said he did some crimes. He said he was around some crimes, but he said one thing for certain, two things for sure. He never pointed a gun at a police officer. Well, the police officer, Reginald Graham, that testified against Meek Mill in this case years ago, back in 2007. Well, homie, over the last couple years, has been found to be a corrupted, bad, dirty police officer. This is real life, ladies and gentlemen. And the assistant district attorney, Paul George, said the office wouldn't call this police officer, Reginald Graham, in on the new trial due to his legal, ethical, and constitutional obligations, meaning he ain't fit to go testify against Meek Mill anymore because he's a dirty cop. He was a dirty cop. He had to resign in real life. So the guy that said Meek Mill pointed a gun at him is no longer even on the force. He's a dirty cop. What are we even doing here? Potentially all these probation violations don't even matter for Meek Mill, even though they were technical violations, because he probably shouldn't have been on probation to begin with if he never pointed the gun at the police officer. Meek Mill maintains his innocence on that. And as of today, like I said, he gets a new trial. And as of right now, for the first time in almost 14 years, Meek Mill is not a felon and he's not on probation. Congratulations to Philadelphia's own Meek Mill. He can travel when he wants to, no restrictions. Meek said on his Instagram account, this has been mentally and emotionally challenging, but Meek Mill did go on to say that this day was one of the best of his life, if not the best day of his life. Congratulations to Meek Mill. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. I don't take it for granted. Salute. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. They are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Taliaferro. Mr. Taliaferro. Mr. Taliaferro.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Shout out to Mr. Taliaferro.
You're watching Mr. Taliaferro TV.
Mr. Taliaferro TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.